It is an interaction with the students, especially the young pillars who are going to shape the greatest nation in the world, that is India.
Good evening, everyone, respected dignitaries, faculty members, and dear students. On behalf of Veranda IAS, I extend a warm welcome to this inspiring evening dedicated to the theme Shaping the Young Minds of India. This theme resonates deeply with our mission to nurture visionaries, thinkers, and reformers who will redefine India's tomorrow. As Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam once said, the youth have an indomitable spirit to make the impossible possible. And as Swami Vivekananda reminded us, we need the youth with muscles of iron and nerves of steel. Tonight, we celebrate those dreams and the indomitable spirit that continues to shape our great nation.
It is an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to this much anticipated evening, an event dedicated to shaping the young minds of India. Tonight is not just a gathering, it is a celebration of ideas, leadership, and inspiration. We are truly delighted to bring together brilliant minds and diverse experiences under one roof. Reflecting the very spirit of our democracy, the theme for evening, Legislation and Execution in Indian Democracy, beautifully captures the essence of what shapes our nation every single day, policy, governance, and people. Allow me to introduce our distinguished guest for the evening, Mr. Pushpendra Saroj, India's youngest member of parliament, whose energy and vision are redefining youth participation in Indian politics. Ms. Ritu Kataria, Indian Information Service Officer from 2020 batch and author of a remarkable new book on political science and international relations for UPSC Aspirants, which she'll be launching right here tonight. And Mr. Saravana Kumar, Senior Indian Revenue Service Officer, who brings a wealth of experience and deep insights into how governance and execution actually unfold within Indian democracy. And our very own Mr. Ilanchezhian Ex-CAPF and our academic committee chairman of Veranda IAS, a doyen of geography in UPSC sector in India, and also Mr. Sushil. Each of our guests represents a key dimension of demographic strength, ideas, institutions, and implementation. Together, they personify the bridge between ambition and achievement, between lawmaking and nation building. As we gather tonight, we also draw inspiration from the timeless wisdom of the great Tamil poet and philosopher Thiruvalluvar, who through his Thirukkural emphasized the importance of just governance, ethical leadership, and the harmonious balance between counsel and action. His teachings remains a guiding beacon for building a society rooted in virtue and effective administration. So as we begin this evening of engaging dialogue, insightful discussion, and warm camaraderie, I invite everyone to listen, interact, and reflect on the many ways we can all contribute to a more effective and inclusive democracy. Here's to an evening of inspiration, exchange, and excellence. Thank you very much.
We now proceed to the keynote addresses, reflections that capture the essence of our theme, Shaping the Young Minds of India. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Pushpendra Saroj to share his insights as a leader and share his thoughts with you and enlighten you with his experience as a member of parliament and how and what are the driving forces that keeps him going on a daily basis. I welcome sir to please enlighten our students.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to thank Veranda IAS and the entire team for having me here. It was a very last moment thing when I landed in Delhi yesterday. And they gave me a call. I swear to you, if it was a political program, I would have said no. But as they told me, it is an interaction with the students, especially the young pillars who are going to shape the greatest nation in the world, that is India. I had to say yes. So thank you for having me today. I apologize, I am a bit under the weather right now. And firstly, I would like to welcome all the esteemed guests who are at the stage with me. In their very own field, they've had tremendous experience, impeccable publications, and who many students such as you see as role models to grow up and be like. So I would like to thank them as well for being here along with me. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Pushpendra Saroj, as you would have known. I'm the youngest member of parliament in the history of India at 25 years. Not a lot of people shift towards politics, think of becoming a politician at the age of 25. But my journey has been such a way that I had to become one, because the conditions that the country is going towards right now, and rightly said by Martin Luther King Jr. once, that there is never a right time to do the right thing. So the right time was there, and I had to take in that step to become a politician, to become a legislator, to be especially in that position where I am now, where I can make a change that I want to see in this world. And secondly, I would like to, before I move into an interaction with all of you all, because I think that is much more important, interacting directly and taking your questions up, there are a few things that I would like to say. In this room, there are, I hope, everybody that is sitting in this room to become what they aspire to become, to go on and achieve, and become the best officers of this nation that they can ever become. Because right now, what we need in this country is youth engagement, youth power, a new thinking, a new beginning. We have seen those times, we have come through those times where there are a lot of people who are in the system for many, many years. I come from a very different background than what this room offers to be. I am the promiser, and the people in this room are the doers of our nation. They are the implementers of the nations. We are the ones who make a promise from the stage. But I think me being young and me being of a different mind is why the team at Veranda chose me to come here and speak to you all. I am seeing a lot of faces here who are right about my age, or maybe 2-3 years younger than me. So maybe I can connect with you all and just say this, that it is us who have to change this nation. It is us who have to be in that system, take that step for where we want this nation to be. In an India Today conclave, I remember I was being asked about how do youth want to engage. It was a general question about politics, but a broader question was into the system and how can youth engage and change the India that we want to see. And the facts and the figures prove that over 60-65% population is youth today in India. But not a lot of people want to get into that system. From a political view, from an officer view, not a lot of people want to be a part of that. We've got different lines of work in India. But I think the most important line is the line that is sitting in this room. Whatever our nation is going to be, is what the people here do day in and day out. What I wish that you all will do when you become an officer once, day in and day out. I don't want to talk about myself a lot. My journey as a politician has just started. I've been a member of parliament for 1.5 years now, and I wish and I hope that I do be a member of parliament for many years to come. But lastly, as I said, it is about an interaction. It is about taking your questions in. So I would like to engage all of you all. If any one of you has any question that you want to ask me, I would be very happy to go through it and take your questions up.
Good evening, everyone. This is Vilasini Muruganand, your host for today's Q&A session. I hope you're all enjoying this wonderful evening of ideas, inspiration, and meaningful conversation. As we move into the most interactive part of our program for today, the Q&A session, let's take a moment to appreciate the remarkable lineup of guests who've joined us tonight. Thank you, sirs and ma'am. Our theme this evening, Legislation and Execution in Indian Democracy, beautifully captures the spirit of dialogue between vision and implementation, between the ideas we legislate and the realities we execute. So now, it's your turn, dear aspirants. Let's open the floor to your questions.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. My name is Vashita. And today for you, my question is, sir, according to you, what are the biggest challenges for the youth in the participation in politics? Sir, and also, how can the students like us contribute meaningfully in the democratic decision making?
Thank you, Ashita, for your question. You can have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Your first question was how can the youth engage in politics and bring about a change? And what difficulties are there that especially I face? I remember my journey when it started. I was 25 years old, now I'm 26. And when I went into campaign, not a lot of people sought out a 25-year to become their legislator or represent them in parliament particularly. And especially the old ones, they're not very keen involving with the young ones. And I remember how difficult it was for me to go to rallies, to go to programs and try to convince them to vote for a 25-year-old to become the youngest member of parliament to represent them in the biggest stage of Indian democratic process. And when I became a member of parliament, that position, that power, that seat is so powerful that all of those people that doubted me, they turned towards me and they came and sat beside me and they started listening to me. So the journey is very difficult. But once you reach that journey, once you reach that position, it becomes fairly easy to do what you think is right for the people. I still do face challenges being a member of parliament right now in my local district as well, especially with officers who've been in the system for a very long time. And we are tremendously looked down upon, probably by the mere fact that our age and our experience does not allow us to be in that position, to guide people or to help people. But age does not matter. Being a politician for 1.5 years and being involved in politics for many, many years, I have seen it is not, you don't have to be somewhere or you don't have to be someone just to do the right thing. Your positions might be different, your persona might be different, but just a common man like anybody can do the right thing, help out anybody. But now I do understand my responsibility, that I have a responsibility of merely about 20 lakh people in my constituency and many more in the state or in the country as well, who look upon me, who look whenever I go to the parliament and speak for them. But it is still very challenging. We still live in a system where we are looked down upon every day. We have to fight that. And it is never easy. It has never been easy. And it will never be easy. So, difficult journeys are always there. But now that I sit here, I sit in this position, I sit on this seat, I know that it is my right and my responsibility towards the people of India. And it is my job to get the thing done. And the second part of your question was, how do young students engage to bring about a change? This question I've been asked many, many times. It is simple. Not a lot of people. I have a very broad group of friends circle. I went to Dehradun. I had my schooling from Dehradun. Then I went on to London. And not a lot of people do understand the officer system of our country, the political system of our country, the two backbones that are running the country. Not a lot of people do understand, especially the youth. My friends don't know who I am. And in a funny way, I had to tell them, you know, Mr. Prime Minister, or you know, the Home Minister, or you know, Mr. Gandhi. Well, whatever they are, I am the same, and we do sit about in the same parliament. So that's how they understood that how important a figure I am. So not a lot of people do understand who I am, where, what the position means, and what I can do, or what many people here, what they can do. So I think it is the right step to move from the social media world that the new age is catching on to, and to actually go and step into the right world, that is the ground world, the ground reality, and see if they want to bring about a change. We cannot sit behind the phone and watch a reel and then crib about the nation. We have to be active participators in whatever change we want to do. And I thank everybody of you all who are into this coaching, who are aspiring to become an officer. You are at the right path. Who is going to change the world, who are going to go into a system that is going to change our country for good. So you are in the right path, so don't worry. We have to focus on people who are not in the right path. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Varshita. I hope that one day the issue of political apathy gets addressed. So yes, moving forward, next we have a question by Ilakya Priya for Mr. Saravana Kumar, sir.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Priya Subramanian. Today, my question is what's one thing you wish every civil service aspirant understood about real governance?
Good evening, all of you. Thank you, Priya, for the question. One thing I'm happy because the answer is easy, one word, but it cannot be one thing. See, the difference between the civil servant and others, like when we say others, who works for a private and other work, where the work is defined only by the contract of money. Okay, what is the salary? At what you are doing. And are you getting promotion? Okay, you change the company. Okay, civil service is not on the contract of money. Civil service is in the contract of service with the government of India under the people. Okay, so now your 8th pay commission is coming. Probably our parliament will vet it better. 8th pay commission will get more basic, all these things. There is a set of government is taking care of all these things. So the civil servant is like at bottom of your heart, please understand that we have a contract not on money terms but on emotional terms with people of India and government of India. And please understand, whenever in private, I was in private for 1 or 2 years. Whenever I work hard, more time, I think I am unnecessarily working for the management. And I'm assuring you, will never have such a feeling in government of India. Even if you work hard on Sundays, you may think you're working for your own people. That is another thing. And my friend, youngest MP of this parliament, okay, they decide what file to come to your table. They decide the policies, where and how the India has to move forward. And you guys, as IAS, IPS, and our friends like IAS, they will decide how to implement the file. They cannot implement the file. Their power ends once they send a file to you in your table. This is a policy, please take care. For example, noon meal scheme. They'll say, okay, I'm going to give food to all 20 crores of population of UP every day. How to do it? That you're going to execute. So some of our bureaucrats get confused that, okay, we want the fame of politician, but I want to only do this work. Because politicians fortunately come with the popularity. In bureaucracy, we should not worry about a popularity. We should not worry about a popularity. We should worry about how to execute it. And only when the execution happens, you will get a name in the books. So I cannot tell you one thing. There are 3 things I told you from bureaucracy.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful insights. Thank you, Ilakya.
A very happy good evening, sir. My name is Bariha Tabassum. My question for you is, as Uttar Pradesh is populated state, what are the measures you will take to increase employment rate in your constituency?
Thank you, Banihar, for your question. You can have a seat. You're right, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Bengal, they're all neighboring states. They're very quite populous, and we've seen the trend that is that people from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar especially, they go out of state to work, and not for a very good job, but a menial job, especially at labors, especially to Gujarat, Maharashtra, and all that. And we're seeing the Bihar election, especially that is happening right now. One of the main reasons, one of the main focus there right now is about employment, especially of the youth, and bringing all the people back to their state so that they can generate employment in their very own state. The only solution right now to generate employment, there are 2 parts: to generate employment and then to retain the people in our very own state. The very simple solution is to have entrepreneurs and big companies to come and invest in the state. That's how policies and us politicians, we very heavily rely on investments from big companies to come and invest. When they'll invest, they'll open up industries, and then we can go on and employ our very own people right where we want them to be. But what happens right now is I don't like to use the word civil servants, but bureaucrats and politicians, our job does not involve that. We cannot influence or we cannot push somebody to come and invest in our state. Our job is to provide them the right and necessary means to come and do business in our state. Our job is to promote ease of doing business, so they have the right functions, they have the right and environment, and they have the right policies in place so that they can come and invest in the state. But I assure you, the change that we are seeing, especially in Uttar Pradesh, with young people coming up, young minds coming up, and political leaders from big political parties who have that broader mind of how we can generate employment, how we can get the youth into the task force of the country. What is our strong point? Indian strong points. We see many skilled laborers going abroad, especially to US, Silicon Valley, but we don't have that infrastructure here for them. We have to retain that. We need our people to work for our country. You all study, and you see where India and China was way back, and now where India stands and where China has gone. It takes that effort to include our people into our very own workforce. So we have to have that long term plan, we have to have that right policies in place, and we have to be stringent sometimes. I know we live in a world of globalization, and we live in a world of diplomacy and where we have to have relations. But when we need to be at the front run of something, be the first of something, we need to be stringent, we need to be proactive, and sometimes we do need to take a stick and fight for what is right for our people. So I hope we can have that comprehensive national plan, national policy, where we can include every state, every individual, every woman and man into our economy. And that's how we will say whatever the government mentions is about Viksit Bharat or Atmanirbhar Bharat. That is how we're going to achieve that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bariha.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Vaishnavi. My question for you is, can we know what are your future plans to develop your constituency that would be different or unique among the other constituencies?
Thank you, Vaishnavi, for your question. I come from a constituency called Kaushambi. You can have a seat, please. Which is near to Prayagraj. I know you all heard of Prayagraj. So it is bordering Prayagraj. It is a very rural constituency. There we still fight for major issues like water, road infrastructure, education. So we don't think big because we can't think big. When I was fighting elections, and the reporters and the people from the news, they used to come and ask me, what is your comprehensive plan about your constituency? I used to tell them very straightforward, we cannot have a big dream for our people. We cannot have that until we don't have our basics right. Food, water, education, these are basics that we need to provide. When we have that strong basics right, then only we can think of and dream of something big in our constituency. And the people understood that. After becoming a member of parliament, we've started to work basically on girl child education mostly. I am planning and I am in the right steps to open an all girls school there, because the data that I had in the survey that I did, we come from a constituency or a background where girls don't go to schools. They're put into home jobs at the very young age. So those steps are taking place. I am taking those steps. But the only lag that we have and we get is that we are not in power. And I very rightly say and very profoundly say whenever we come, I have a budget of 5 CR for 20 lakh people. 5 lakh people voted for me. 5 lakh something people voted for me, and they come to me for work, and I very rightly tell them, see, I've got a budget for 5 CR. That is 100 rupees for every one of you for a year. And a menial hand pump comes at a cost of 50,000. So I'm not in power right now, but all that I have is for you. And whatever I can do in whatever part of the constituency or whatever part of the infrastructure is to benefit all of you all in a good way. I am not one to eat out of it. I am not one to lie about it. But within my powers and within my limits, the people who are sitting here, they understand that we do sit in a position of power, but we do also have our limits. As Sir was mentioning, that our our function work ends when we framework the policies, and then people like sir, they go on and implement the policies. So everybody has that limit. But whatever the best we can do, as I mentioned about my constituency, you asked me, it is first about girl child education, working on the water shortage that is there. These two are the things that I have started to work in my constituency, and then we'll see where are we 5 years from now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, what Sir said reminded us that true power does come with responsibility. And yes, as aspirants, we also look forward and we're also excited for the plans that you have for the district. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. My name is Mugilan. Once a Plato said, the beginning is the most important part of work. Like that, your beginning, your voice in the parliament is the most important part of our parliament to shaping the young minds of India. Your first step at 26 is a historic. Congratulations for your inspiring journey, sir. As a future civil servants, how can we address the lack of political awareness among the youth to prevent corruption amid their rising participation? What specific guidelines to provide them to make them as a ethical and effective future leaders?
Thank you so much for your question. About corruption. Corruption majorly stems from our everyday cultural, the way that we've been taught and brought upon in this country from. It does not happen like that. See, it is the money in corruption that is involved is corruption is ever flowing. There's the money that shows and there's a money that does not show. And it is free flowing. The money that somebody earns from corruption, they do not keep it, they invest it somewhere else. And that money keeps on flowing. But it is just how we see you all when you walk into that system right now. There is a very big focus that you have to focus on right now. Be it bureaucracy, be it politics. Why do we need young individuals to come in as soon as possible into the system? We are free of corruption. We are free of the idea of corruption. Right now, our very own focus is for the betterment of the people. Right now, our very own focus for you all is to become an officer and to serve the nation. I don't think so. Anybody of you are here to be an aspirant to earn money from corruption. You want to serve the nation first, right? Especially when I became a member of parliament, I wanted to serve my people. It is a continuous process when you go into the system. So youth have that energy and that tolerance right now to go into the system and work again and again and again tirelessly, and get involved with all the 100 people who are coming in this week and coming next week again. So talking about corruption, there has to be a cultural shift. It is not a day and night job. It has to take place from the very beginning. I'd guarantee you people, if not me, but people from my age who come into bureaucracy or politics at a very young age, we'll see corruption reduced to 75%, by 75%, very automatically. And that is my very, very straight challenge if that does not happen. It is the idea that I told you right now. We don't want money. We want to work right now. But then you get into the system and then you're involved with people who are there. And then it all falls apart. Then you think in yourself when you're sitting in the room at night and you're like, I thought I'll do this by right now, but I've done nothing. Because it is an everyday process, a loop that keeps on happening. So we need to work that way. That's why I was very mindful when these guys invited me today, because I was wishing to come here and speak to you all, so that you all, and especially in politics, I would like to engage youth to come into that position of power. I know it's not answered your question, but it has explained the idea of corruption in our country at least. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mukilin. And sir, yet again, you've reminded us of the quote, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. And I know that our bright aspirants out here are willing to take up the challenge. So guys, challenge accepted.
So now we arrive at a very special moment, the book launch of Political Science and International Relations, authored by Ms. Ritu Kataria. Congratulations, ma'am, on the significant contribution to the world of civil services preparation. May this book continue to guide, inform, and inspire young minds who dream of serving the nation. So, moving ahead, I would like to welcome Ms. Ritu, ma'am, to please share her journey and what inspired her to join the civil services, and also enlighten us about her book, and again, what is the inspiration behind her book. Ma'am, please welcome.
Hi, I'm Ritu Kataria, Assistant Director in Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. I cleared my UPSC Civil Services exam of 2019, so I am 2020 batch. And as Madam said, what inspired me? So it has been a childhood dream. It's the only aim I had since childhood to, sit for UPSC exam, clear civil services, and join the service. My father was a big motivation for me, and he motivated me, to study for this exam, appear for the exam, and he has been thoroughly supportive of it. And then, so I planned my education also in similar manner. So I did my graduation in political science from LSR. Then I proceeded to do my master's as well in political science from Kirorimal. And while I was doing my master's, I appeared for the exam, first attempt. So obviously, it's UPSC chase, UPSC chaos. I reached interview stage. I was 21 years old, but I didn't make that attempt. Then subsequently in another attempt, I cleared the exam. A lot of learning in terms of emotional resilience, lot of learning in terms of perseverance, lot of learning in terms of failing with dignity. Like that was my key learning. Like you will fail one way or the other. You will fail at preliminary stage, you might fail at mains, or you might fail at interview. You never know. But how to handle that failure, how to get back up in the game, how to start your preparation again from scratch, from zero. So all that has, all that shapes you. So as one of the students, while, talking, she said, UPSC preparation builds clarity, conviction, and character. And I think that's what all you students are also aiming, and the Veranda IAS is also focusing on that. And that's very true. You would need all these three traits if you want to be in administrative service or any other service. And the point is just not to clear the exam. The point is to be good at what you do. So whether it's in whichever service you join. So the point is कि clear हो गया, you have become an officer, you have joined the civil services, you have joined the ranks of officers. That's not the ultimate game. The ultimate game is that you are good at what you do, and this preparation will actually teach you that. The preparation will teach you how to be resilient in when you're faced with challenges, because when you join service you will realize that preparation wasn't that hard. Clearing the exam wasn't that hard. When you get into the system and you want to do things and you will face unfathomable challenges, system will put you, will actually give you sleepless nights. And then you will realize कि ठीक है, preparation time भी अच्छा था इससे तो, but you will still manage. So that has been my learning. And motivation is again, it can, for me, motivation is in terms of, it can ignite a spark. But to sustain yourself for 2 years minimum, even if you give your first attempt and you clear it, great, but you still need 2 years for your first attempt. You cannot sustain just on motivation. You cannot sustain just on inspiration. You need discipline. You need consistency. You need systems that you create for yourself. And focus on that. Be very detached from your preparation. Have a very clinical, methodical about your preparation. Okay, this is what I need to do for the exam. This is how I should approach it. This is my book list. This is my timetable. And follow it religiously. And there will be days where you will question your decision to write this exam. There will be days where you will not feel like doing, where you will struggle to stick to your timetable. Those are the days that you need to 100% show up and do what you have planned. And that will get you through. So that's all I would like to, address here, that, discipline will actually get you through in the final list. Motivation will get you started.
Thank you, ma'am, for the insightful words. And yes, you have given us all a reality check. And you've also shared your experiences about your journey in the exam. And emotional resilience is a take back for all you aspirants, right?
Good evening, dignitaries. I'm Yokesh. My question is to Ritu ma'am. India currently separates how laws are made and how laws are implemented and how laws are academically understood. But if India wants to reach Viksit Bharat in 2047 and become a 10 trillion high capacity state, we need one integrated system where legislation, execution, and academic theory continuously inform each other. If we were to create one institution to permanently fuse these three into a single loop, what would that institution be? And which pillar should initiate it first? Parliament, executive, or academia? That is my question.
Thank you for the question. Please have a seat. So I am a political science student. I would tell you, no, we cannot have one institution. We need separation of powers. How do we make sure that, every institution is informing or giving a feedback to the other institution? Yes, we can work on that. And for that, I think communication will play a great role, where people can actually inform. How do we reach out to people where they can inform, whether at the district level or the state level or the central level, their opinions. So for that, I think our local governance has to be strengthened. So that would be this, not one institution, but more receptive to feedback. I think we have institutions in place currently also, but how much time does it take for the feedback to be received and then to be implemented, to be brought in the system? So I think we need more work in terms of internal government communication within the system. So that needs to be improved upon.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Yokesh.
So myself, Aravind. My question to you is, where do you think India stands with respect to multipolar world?
Thank you for the question. Taking up the first bit of it, the multipolar world, we are very clear on it. We believe in a multipolar world. We believe that, no one nation can be, in this current situation, take up a hegemonic position. We are very clear on it. We believe in strategic alignment.
A very pleasant evening to dear sirs and madams. It's an honor that I'm standing here. My question towards you would be, how are you going to portray your experiences in the book that you're going to publish? And how will this particular book help us aspirants in our upcoming competitive exams? Also, how is this particular book going to stand out in the market full of various kinds of books? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. So this book is an effort of my love for the subject, basically. I absolutely loved learning political science in my graduation and masters. I took it up as an optional and I scored 160 in paper 1 because I understood the knack. I understood what is important from UPSC perspective. So I have tried to actually input that in my book. So what happens, you study for 10 hours, 18 hours, you study 10 books, 20 books, right? And when it comes to writing answers, you're still not able to get, like why you are not able to score. There's a gap between your input and output. Your input is that you study long hours, you studied multiple books, you have revised also. But when it comes to output, you're writing answers, but they are not fetching marks for you. So here this book will come in. In this book, I've tried that I give you, there are some questions where lengthy answers are given, so you understand the concept. But then there are actual 150 to 250 words answer where it shows you what a good answer looks like. The answers that I have written in my UPSC mains where I scored 160. So it stands out in that term also. It's looking from aspirant's perspective. Okay, what does a good answer look like? What should I aim for when I write answers? When I study, what is that I need to, remember or imbibe from the text that I'm studying so I can reproduce it on the paper or in the exam hall. So that's how it will stand out. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sushil Kumar. I'm from 2018 batch of Indian Information Services, and all of you must be a little tired because it's been 2 hours. and you have asked your questions. But I'll just summarize my journey, my motivation, my inspiration, and everything in few words. So basically, it started from a childhood dream, like many of you must be doing it. And it was love for the country, love for public service, the zeal to bring some changes in society and help, because I come from a village. So basically, seeing the life of people there doing farming, doing all kind of activities, and I wanted to bring some change. So as a natural path, I chose civil services, and because I thought I'm not good enough to be a politician like sir. So and then the journey started from college days, and came to Delhi, took a coaching like all of you. But the thing which I realized is that during my preparation days, what kept me going is the idea that I want what I want to do and why I am doing it. It was not any motivation, it was not any outside force, but the internal zeal and the idea that I want to see myself there, and I want to do this service to my society, for my people. So that kept me going, and all of you must find your own whys, that why you are doing it and why you want to continue it, and that why will keep you whatever challenges you face. So there's no one formula for how to tackle this, how to tackle that, how to tackle politician corruption, fatigue and everything. But that why will always keep you going, even after selection and during preparation. So find your whys, and be compassionate to yourself, to the outside world, and I think you will clear the exam and the life with flying colors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insightful words. I hope sir's words will inspire you all to introspect and reflect and find your whys. So, moving ahead, I feel it was a very knowledgeable evening, very wonderful evening. Thank you for all the guests for taking time and being a part of this evening and inspiring our students. And I equally would like to thank the students who have participated with a great zeal in spite of the tiring day that we had. Thank you, everyone.
Veranda IAS, where your dream becomes reality.